Captain's Pick, the FPL Podcast. Hello and welcome on board flight episode 30 of Captain's Pick, the FPL Podcast. This is your captain and host speaking, Geoff Willis, and each week I'll be taking flight to talk fantasy Premier League football. You can find the show on a whole host of podcast services. Just search Captain's Pick. Please leave a review, like, share and subscribe. On today's show, I'll give a review of my Game Week 32 free hit, talk transfers, chip strategy and my Captain's Pick, and I'll finish off with a quick preview of Game Week 33. But first, as ever, a quick shout out to the half-season Community League, which started scoring back in Game Week 20 and was set up to raise money and awareness for Cancer Research UK. Quick shout out to the top 10 here, and it's getting pretty tight. So there's only about 60 points covering the top 10 places, and incredibly we had 5 scores in the top 10 of over 100 in Game Week 32. So a quick shout out to the top 3. In at 3 is Tom Dunn-Massey, who scored 100 this game week and is on 810. Second again, like last week, is Kyle Gall. He got 101 points and is on 815. And then top spot once again is Mark Downey, who had an okay game week, 86. Normally pretty decent, but with lots of 100-point scores below him. A lot of the other teams have caught up quite a bit, and he is on 829. So there's only 15-20 points covering that top 3 places, so all to play for in the next 6 game weeks. Okay, so looking at my game week 32, I of course played my free hit, and I scored 96 points, which I was hoping to get to 100, but just a little bit shy of that. It's not too bad. A game week rank of 511,000, and that left me on 1,812 points, and I rose about 80,000 places to 317k. So a good amount of places risen up there, but really I was after more. I was wanting to get into the 200,000s really. Still think the 100 inside the 100k is just about possible, but it's going to need to be 40,000-50,000 place jumps each week for the next 6 weeks, which is definitely doable. Still got my wild card left to play, still got my bench boost and my triple captain, so definitely can take advantage there, but hopefully that can still happen. And then what I'll do is I'll give a quick review of how my free hit squad went, and then I'll crack on with game week 33, which game week 33 deadline is tomorrow night. So recording this on Thursday, game week 33 is Friday 7pm deadline. I'll let you know again at the end of the show, but I will keep this pretty brief because it is a pretty quick turnaround. So I had Kepa in goal. Chelsea conceding in the first match against Cardiff. That was 2-1 that game. But then he got me a clean sheet in the home game against Brighton. Chelsea winning 3-0. So 1 clean sheet out of the 2. Was hoping for a double clean sheet, but there we are. With a goalkeeper, I think you would take 1 out of the 2 for sure. Laporte, so happy that I picked him. He got a clean sheet and a bonus point in the first match. City winning 2-0 against Fulham. And then in the second match, he got 2 bonus points, a clean sheet and an assist. So overall, 18 points from Laporte. Was definitely the right defensive Man City pick there, I would say. Disappointing from Lindelof. Only played in the second Man United game and conceded, so only a 1 point from him. was probably looking like Azpilicueta was the right pick. I think he finished on 15, 16 points, so he would have been the one to go for, maybe alongside Kepa or Edison. But happy with bringing in Schlupp, who got me 7 points, got a clean sheet in his first game. So that was a good move. Although Aaron Wan-Bissaka did play, I think he ended up on 6 points, so got an extra point out of that. I'll take that all day long. In midfield, Pogba did nothing, but again, that was a bit of a shield pick. I know he was highly owned, so if he did do anything, I didn't want to miss out, and he just got 4 points, just the appearance points in both matches. Likewise, Sterling, disappointing from him. Only played in the first match and just got the 3 points. Glad I didn't captain him. And then Hudson-Odoi, decided to start him in my first 11. Didn't play the first game, but he started the second game. Got a bonus point, clean sheet point, and an assist. So he got 7 points. Can't argue with that from a 4.2 midfielder. Always knew there was a bit of a gamble there that he'd probably only play one game or maybe come off the bench in one of the games. So played the 90 minutes in that Brighton 3-0 victory. So exactly what I was looking for. And then Hazard only played half an hour in the first game. But then was excellent against Brighton, getting 3 bonus points, an assist and a goal. So he ended up on 15 points. Would have, if I'd captained him, would have been the best player to captain, but it was never really in my thinking. I was always going to go Aguero, and it was would have only got an extra 10 points, so not too bad. If after Saturday's games and sort of the weekend's games, and Hazard would have only played half an hour, I would have been very unhappy at that point as a Hazard captainer. So yeah, I'm fine with that. And then my front three, Vardy did score right at the end of the match. 6 points from him probably wasn't enough. Looking back on the highlights, he definitely could have got a brace. Was so close to getting double points haul there, which would have definitely made it worth it, but too expensive to keep in the side for just getting 6 points. So there's one of my mistakes, along with Lindelof. Pretty much think that's probably the only 2 mistakes, if I'm honest. I'll go into who I think would have been better. Rashford, unfortunately, only played the first game, scored though, so got the 7 points. I'll take that. Just unlucky, got injured. Likewise with Aguero, so pretty much the right pick with the captaincy there. Okay, could have got a few more points with Hazard, but I'll take it. So Aguero scoring a goal and getting an assist and bonus points, so got me 20 points. Obviously, he was my captain, so 20 points from him. And so on reflection, I think I probably should have gone Jimenez instead of Vardy, which would have given me the money to upgrade Lindelof to Azpilicueta. And that's pretty much it. That would have given me an extra about 20 points. Jimenez finishing on 12 points, so that would have given me an extra 6 points over Vardy, and then the Azpilicueta would have got me an extra 16 points there, so 15 points. So yeah, about an extra 20 points from them too, which would have seen me get in the 100 club with about 116 points. Would have been perfectly happy with that. So can't be too disappointed with my free hit, I have to say. Obviously a few casualties during that free hit. Quite a bit of rotation. But again, can't be too disappointed. Kane didn't get anything. He was one of the ones I was worried about. Son popped up and got a goal, but again, didn't cause me too much pain. Palace, Milivojevic got his penalty. We all thought that he may get a penalty, but just didn't feel right getting a player in just in case they got a penalty, but it happened. He got 11 points, so could have potentially brought him in instead of Pogba, but was never really an option. Maybe instead of Hudson-Odoi, using the Vardy money on him. So I could have squeezed out a few more points potentially, but pretty happy with that game week 32. And I say the 70k, 80k rise in the ranks, can't be too disappointed. Okay, so looking forward then to game week 33. So after that free hit, I've obviously got my game week 31 squad back, and it's not looking too bad. Pretty decent, I'd say. I've got one free transfer to make. So currently the team is Fabianski in goal, Robertson, Dean, and Wan-Bissaka, 3 at the back. And then I've got Hazard, Salah, Mane, and Hayden, Vardy, Rondon, and Wilson up front. So a 3-4-3. And currently my captain is Salah. I think the 3 standout choices here probably are either Salah, Mane, or Hazard. Potentially Vardy away at Huddersfield, but that does feel a bit punty. Currently captaining Salah. I'll probably just stick with him. I think he's due a brace, two or 3 goals, a double points haul. Southampton have been pretty decent recently, so maybe you should go Hazard. West Ham are on their holidays, Chelsea at home, but you just never know with Hazard. So I'll probably stick with Salah, but not been great with my captaincy picks recently, apart from last game week. It's a tough one, but I'd probably just go Salah, I think. In terms of my free transfer, I'm thinking of bringing in Fraser of Bournemouth. They've got Burnley at home. Pretty good Bournemouth at home. Attacking wise, it should be good. And after last week's loss, I think they want to bounce back with a win. So I've got 3 million in the bank. So I could take out Punchin or Hayden, whoever really, to bring him in. It's almost like a 1 week gamble, because I'll probably be wildcarding next week in game week 34. More on that in a minute. In terms of any other transfers, I've got my 3 Liverpool. I've got Hazard in there. Not going to bring in any other Chelsea. Potentially could change a defender for a Chelsea defender, but I'd rather go and bring in like an attacking player, so a Fraser or potentially Maddison. Leicester have got Huddersfield away, so that's another option. Again, I can afford pretty much anyone I want. I could swap the goalkeeper over Fabianski and maybe bring in Kepa, but it's just a bit boring. I'm sure Fabianski will get save points anyway, so yeah, I'm just looking for an exciting pick. So it's probably going to be attacking midfielder, Fraser or Maddison. Pretty happy with my front 3. I could potentially bring in an Arsenal player. Arsenal got Everton away, so could do all right offensively there. Though Everton have been pretty decent recently, so not sure I'll bring in an Arsenal player, but I would say it's probably out of Fraser or Maddison to come in into that midfield 4. And in terms of my chip strategy then, so as I was saying, the free transfer would probably be a 1 week punt. Be looking to wildcard in game week 34, bench boost in game week 35, and then which is a double game week, and then triple captain in either 36, 37 or 38, whoever's in good form and has got a good fixture and who's in my team. I could just use it on the last day of the season to try and grab like some extra last few places in the overall rank or in my mini league. But that's my chip strategy over the next few weeks before the end of the season. And just a quick preview then of game week 33. Only a handful of games. Got Southampton at home to Liverpool Friday night. Got my 3 Liverpool players in there. Expecting good things from Liverpool, actually. It'll be a tough game. Southampton been pretty decent recently, but Liverpool going for the title, they've just got to go for it. So, yeah, expecting points from them. And then the Saturday games, Bournemouth at home to Burnley. Fancy Wilson in my team to get a couple of goals there. Hopefully, I think Burnley are near enough safe. They'll probably be going for a point from that game, I reckon. But I think Bournemouth have been good at home. I think they'll be going for the win for sure. Huddersfield at home to Leicester. Huddersfield are relegated now, so not sure what type of performance they're either gonna pressure off and they start playing for some football, or they just roll over basically. So that's why I'm glad I've got Jamie Vardy in there. Got his goal last week, so hopefully can maybe get a brace this week. Newcastle at home to Palace. Could see this potentially being 0-0 or maybe a 1-1. Hoping, obviously, Rondon scores, but I have got Wan-Bissaka as well. So either way, there's either going to be a clean sheet or attacking points, hopefully. So we'll see what happens there. And then Sunday game, as I said earlier, Everton at home to Arsenal. I've got Luca Dean at the back. Fancy him to maybe score a free kick in this game. Arsenal haven't been great defensively, so could be some assist points for him there. Potentially even a clean sheet. And then Monday night game, Chelsea at home to West Ham. I've got Eden Hazard. Currently my vice captain. Potentially captain, but not sure on that. Expect Chelsea to do well against West Ham there. West Ham have been pretty awful the last few weeks. So expecting big things from him. Okay, well, I think that's where I'm going to land the show. A reminder that the Game Week 33 deadline is Friday at 7 p.m. That's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Feel free to send in any questions or topics you'd like discussed on the show to either the podcast Twitter account at CaptainsPickPod or the podcast email address captainspickpod@gmail.com. Thanks so much for listening to this in-flight podcast. I've been your captain. Good luck with Game Week 33, and until next time, it's been my pleasure to talk with you.
Captain's Pick, the FPL Podcast.